Hi, welcome to Learn to Knit Online. My name is Alice and I'm your knitting teacher, and today I'm going to show you how to weave in the ends when you've finished your knitted piece. So here I have a swatch of a light blue colour, and you can see that I have the knit side facing upwards. Now I'm going to consider that my right side, and by that I mean the side that I want the world to see. So I don't want to sew my ends in here, I don't want people to see the work on this side. So I'm going to turn the swatch over, and you can see my purl side, which is what I'm going to consider as my wrong side. This doesn't mean that this is the side I've made lots of mistakes on, it simply means it's the side that I can hide all the work on. No one's going to see it, it's going to be the inside of my garment. So for the purposes of showing you clearly what I'm doing, even though the piece that I've knitted is this light blue colour, I've actually added on a piece of orange here that you can see, just so that you can clearly see how I'm weaving the stitches in. So I've already threaded it onto a tapestry needle, and a tapestry needle is my method of choice for sewing in ends. You could also use a crochet hook and do exactly the same as what I'm about to do, but a tapestry needle has an eye that is big enough for the yarn. If I turn that around there, you can see it's comfortably in there. It also has a blunt end. Now my tapestry needle has a slight bend to it, and that's just my personal preference, but tapestry needles that are straight work just as well too. So what we're going to do is sew this end in into the backs of the stitches so that they're not visible on the front, on the right side. And one thing to think about before you start sewing in is how your garment's going to be used. So, for example, if you were making a hat and therefore your hat is going to be pulled on and off, then you wouldn't want to sew your ends in vertically, because you're going to be ending up in the action of using the hat, you risk pulling out the ends that you've woven in. So you would want to weave those in horizontally. So let's say that my piece is going to be used horizontally, so I'm going to aim for more of a vertical sew-in. So here's my end right here at the corner, and I'm literally going to choose the back of a stitch as my first one, and I'm just going to pull it in. And then I'm going to choose another stitch here. I don't want to create any big flaps here of yarn, because otherwise I run the risk of my finger catching them while I'm using the piece. So I'm going to then choose this piece here, this stitch, and pull that through, and I'll go here. So this is entirely random. There's no sort of right way to do this or wrong way, but you do want to check every now and again that it's not clear on the other side. So you can see here that actually, excuse me, you can see here that the stitch is a bit clear. Obviously, if I was using the same colour, it wouldn't be very clear at all. So I think I could get away with that, to be honest with you, because that would normally be the blue colour and you wouldn't see that. But it is good to now and again check. If I did want to take it out, then I would simply pull the yarn from my needle, and I would just use the needle to pull out the yarn and redo it. So I'm going to pull it out here, rethread it on, there we go, and let's see, so I want to avoid, so I'm just going to choose another back here, and then maybe I could get away with going over here and up here. Let's have a little look. Well, it's still there, it's still showing, but like I say, this would normally be your same colour yarn, so you wouldn't see it. But let's, for the sake of, I'm going to go all the way up here, so you can see that that's what my blue, that's how you would normally see my blue. But as we can see, you wouldn't notice anything because it would be the same colour. So you're going to randomly just go through a couple of stitches, and you're going to sew in a good couple of inches. So I'm going to start going down now, what I'll do is repeat this with the blue so that you can see how low the visibility is. And I'll go up again. So you can see I'm just picking stitches very randomly. And I just want to have a good secure length of yarn. So no matter how I'm pulling my knitting, it's not coming out. And oh, you could see that one's very clear. So I probably want to take that one out, to be honest with you. So again, I just use my needle and rethread. And I'll do, let's see, the last one here and here. And then I take my scissors and I cut as close to the knitting as I can. And then I do pull the knitting so that there's no sort of ends flying out, and I can check in case, see, there's the end coming out on the wrong side. So I just want to pull that out, and this will just end up felting basically into your knitting. So that's what it looks like on the wrong side. And on the right side, as you can see some pieces here because I've used a different colour. So for that reason, I'm going to use the same colour just to show you. So if I turn the swatch around here, just to show you how when you use the same colour, it really isn't visible. So again, I'm just picking the backs of random stitches. And I'm just sneaking around. Let's see, let's go there. Let's turn this around, and as you can see, there's nothing visible there. And I'm doing exactly the same thing. It's just that I'm using excuse me, the same colour yarn. And it's also fine if you cross over. You can just about make out that I'm about to cross over where I've already been. Totally fine. Just make sure it's not too lumpy at the back. There we go. Let's do another couple here. Okay, there you go. Invisible on the right side. Pretty invisible on the wrong side. I'm going to trim. Remove my tapestry needle. Pull the yarn. Pull the knitting, sorry, so that the yarn comes through all its little... And you can just about make it out here. Whereas here, obviously, the contrasting colour I've used, you can really clearly see. And you can see the contrasting colour on this side, and on this side when you use the same colour, nothing. So that's how you sew in your ends, and that is the reason why when you cast on and cast off you want to leave a tail of a good couple of inches. It's not that you're going to sew the whole lot in, but you want to have enough length that you can comfortably weave around, change direction and so on, so that you can sew in as much length as you feel confident with. So there we go. That is how you sew in your ends. If you'd like to see any more tips from me, you can see tutorials on the tips and tricks page here on the website. And you can also find loads of blog posts, some with video content and some with just step-by-step guides to answer all the questions that so many beginner knitters have. Thank you so much for watching.